So the first colour I'm putting on is this Mars Violet and White with a bit of Payne's Grey, and so I've now put that all over the light areas of the face, and I've done that over the rest of the figure, so there's not a sudden jolt of colour when I come to do the rest of the figure. And I'm now going to wipe that off, and it will leave a lot of the grey still there. So the reason I've first of all put that fairly neutral colour across is that anything else I put on it is going to work quite well with it. So if I put lighter and sweeter colours on there in areas, that's going to work quite well. It'll set off the sweeter colours, and so for example this, if I start to put this peach colour on, immediately you've got a kind of relationship between the peach colour and the neutral colour. And then if I use a darker colour, so maybe the brown mixed with the blue gives a slightly colder brown. So you can see the colours are beginning to work against the neutral colour rather than having to fight against the white. So I can begin to sort of lay out where some of the main tonal areas are going to be. So I'm going to put a light cold grey in here a bit. So that's going to work against this warmer peach colour on the cheek. And then so I'm just going to lay down a few colours to see how they look. That was the sort of cadmium red and white. This is the brick red colour and white. So when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about how the colours are going to work together. I'm thinking about stronger, warmer colours against cooler, less saturated colours against darker shapes that frame that combination. So I'm going to carry on working on that for a while. So I've got a few of these colours working now, and I'm just going to re-emphasise where some of the basic shapes of the face are. So every time you work on the image or the face, you can just hone down the shapes a bit, improve them, adjust them slightly. The relationship of the shapes together. And all the time I'm referring to the drawing that I made earlier. The drawing is a really good guide because when you're drawing on a smaller scale, and in the moment of drawing you've got this strong connection between what you're trying to do, your intentions, and the mark you're putting on the paper. So as you draw, you're making those strong connections between the vision that you have and creating something new which reflects the feelings that you have about that subject. When you come to do a painting, if it's based on a drawing, in a strange way you're aiming to get back to the best things about the drawing. At the same time, you're also improvising on the drawing. So the drawing here is just one colour with two tones, and obviously I'm now extending that idea and developing the colour relationships, and always pulling back to check how the figure is working against the other colours that are already on the canvas. So what I'm initially trying to do here is set up some quite large areas of colour, which I guess will be refined later or kind of blended together. So one of the things is to be a bit open-minded about this as you develop it. So I kind of set up a rhythm here of these three shapes. There's a kind of vertical arrangement there with that peach as it goes into this colder colour, this bluey grey colour. So a cold colour recedes, so that cold bluey grey area is receding and creating space, and this peach colour is coming forwards. So at the moment I'm not really, in fact in general I'm not really interested in creating some kind of exact representation. I'm more interested in the tension between the colours, the shapes, and trying to develop a sense of form. So really it's the relationship between the peach colour, the grey, the brown, and how that works together as a face. That's what I'm aiming for. So at the moment the whole thing is quite boldly painted, and it will just develop as it progresses.